What a great time to be alive. Technology is fantastic. Everyone should use it. You're going to love it. And you think to yourself, oh my God, it's all too hard. I'm too old. You're not. I want to share with you the fact that I'm in my 60s. My mother's 85 and has installed Linux on her laptop. The way we do things with technology is so different. But the key, I think, is to spend your time wisely, because you can spend a disproportionate time that you have left. And if you're as old as I am, time's important to us. But I have found that some of the tools make my life a little bit easier, and I want to share them with you and hope that you will get some inspiration and maybe share what you're using. For me, one of the best things I did was move to Linux Mint. It is so easy now that I'm surprised I didn't attempt it years ago. I've always been a Windows user right from the 90s, really from when it was DOS and then Windows 3.1. My technical life, and when I was doing web developing and with websites, they were primarily on Windows servers because I felt they were a little bit more sophisticated. They're a lot heavier. But nowadays, Windows is beginning to become a behemoth. You'll find that on your computer it's nagging you to upgrade, and then it will tell you that you need a new computer. And when it asks you that, you have to say to yourself and be strong and say, nope, I'm going to Linux. You don't need to have such a powerful computer with Linux. It's much more lightweight. You do have to learn a couple of things, in my opinion, and that is not be scared of the black screen. The black screen is really, instead of everything being sent to you via a file you download, you're going to type in some instructions. But you don't do that on your own anymore. You've got ChatGPT or Claude or other models. These are the primary ones that people use. You don't need an account to actually get that information. You just type in and ask the question, how do I install this and how do I install that? The very first thing to go to would be the Linux Mint website. And it has got beautiful instructions. And combined with ChatGPT and a USB stick, you need a USB stick as well, you can start getting your Linux environment set up. I've got installed, like I'm a heavy Windows user. I was a heavy Windows user. And there's only one tool that I don't use on Linux that I have to use on Windows. It's a bit annoying because I wanted to give my husband my old Windows machine, but he can't have it yet because I need it. And that is because I use Camtasia. Camtasia is great for Windows and Mac OS, but it's not designed for Linux. So I can record on, if I wanted to, on OBS, which is free, world-class video software for recording and streaming. But I'm actually recording this on my phone because I think it's so damn handy that I've given up trying to use my computer and getting all the lighting ready. I'm just using my phone. I then take it off my phone, put it onto a drive, and then I go to Windows to edit it. I can't wait for the day that there's a good tool. There are a lot of free tools with Linux. In fact, most of them are free. You can have LibreOffice, and that it's got all the tools that you can use for that you use in a normal office situation. I use Thunderbird Mail. You can use Betterbird Mail, Evolution. These are all at no cost and they run very well. The computer is much more lightweight and fast and responsive. I found it picks things up like a Windows machine for most of the time, and it's not hard to use. It's a pleasure. That's my recommendation, and I think that everyone should give it a go. It's good for the mind too, and it's certainly something that we want to, keep our mind sharp, but not also handing out money. I do use a Windows subscription for OneDrive because I use it for storage, but that's the only thing I pay for, really. Everything else is, and Camtasia. My next one would be my graphene phone. Privacy is a big thing for me, which is my move to Linux. But your phone is really one of the most sneaky things when it starts handing out information about you. And in particular, if you can imagine going to a shop and you've got that, sometimes you get a message sent to you. That's because your cheeky phone, what it's doing is, instead of behaving itself in your pocket, waiting for you to call someone, or receive a call, it's actually telling everyone where it goes. Hi, I'm here in the shopping centre. Hi, I'm here in the airport. Hi, I'm here. And all this information is being gathered by different companies. Maybe you've got nothing to hide. That's not the thing. It is until you have got something to hide, and then it's going to be too late. But the Graphene phone to me is just a very fast and slick phone, and it's using Pixels. It's using the Android Google Pixel range of phones, from Google's Pixel 7 up to, I think, now the bigger expensive phones. I've got a Google Pixel 10a. I simply went to the Graphene website and followed the instructions, and I have had non-technical friends of mine do it themselves. It is not difficult. And there are plenty of people who provide it as a service. But hey, give it a try. It's not difficult, but it's a beautiful phone. But what it does is it bypasses all of Google's snooping, right? It uses what we call sandboxed Google, where basically it puts Google into the naughty corner and says, oh, you're not coming out. No, you're not going to ask that person's permission for things. No, that's not allowed, not allowed. And if you wanted to, you must do it yourself. You don't even need a Gmail address or any email address. You just pick that phone up, make a call, and talk to your friends. It's quite a good phone. That's in my opinion only, of course. What do I know? But what I do know is the fantastic monitor I have. It's a 50-inch monitor. It is not the top of the range, fanciest. It is the curved 50-inch Samsung monitor. If you've used 2 monitors before, and good quality ones, it's cheaper than buying 2 high-end 27-inch monitors. But the beauty of having a wide screen is the neck agility. Your neck doesn't move. When you have 2 screens, which some people think is a luxury, but as you're getting older and you want to do a few things, sometimes you just need that little bit of space to have a few windows open and do stuff. So what it does is stops you from having to move. You don't have that black line of 2 screens, which you're always looking left or right, left or right, left or right. Mail, website, website, mail. This stops it. So it's a very elegant solution and no more neck jiggling. It's been so important to me because I spend quite a bit of time here, but it's beautiful to look at. If you've got the space, get one. I use also a product called Obsidian. I've tried in a couple of videos before creating this one to create a video that explains Obsidian without bastardizing it, because it is just one of these tools that if you are a person with lots of ideas and lots of files and lots of things everywhere, and you just, how do you find them all? But you've got them in folders and you work a certain way. Obsidian helps you organize that information and works with how you work in how you store your files you're working on. For example, I've got folders where I've got some of my documents stored for if I'm doing business things. And then I've got my folder when I'm doing AI work where the files are structured in a very different way because I call them up in a different way. And by having these set up that way, my vault, my Obsidian vault, it points to it, but it gives me the opportunity to put in what we call community plugins. And the plugin is really just something that someone has written and says, you know what, I'd really like to have my Excel spreadsheets displayed nicely when I log in. I don't have to open up Excel. I just can point it there, it'll pick up the Excel file and I can type in Obsidian. Then I can jump to a little document that I'm doing here, or I can have a little picture. I can export it out as a PDF, but I can write things as well. So it's a beautiful tool that I found combined a lot of the things I'm doing into one location. The next thing I want to talk about too, that I really think is understated, underrated, is AI. And by the way, it's bark o'clock if you can hear any dogs. Okay, it's nighttime. Now, AI to me is something that I think has got a lot of fear-mongering around it. People feel that they're obsolete, that they've got no value. But I'm thinking now, if you are an older person, you have got much more value than you believe, than you really can give yourself credit for, because what we are missing with AI is what we call taste and judgment. It's not good taste of the house is green and that's blue, whatever. It is taste in understanding the wisdom of the years we've had to learn things and how things work and how to approach things that is missing. You can't teach young people certain things. They need to grow through it and experience it themselves to be able to get that depth of knowledge. Like the go-to person, if you had someone in the company who just for some reason you could ask a question and out of the blue, they'd have the answer. And you think, how the hell did they get it? Because they remembered something that happened a long time ago or involved in something that someone else wasn't, and picked that bit of information and was able to share it. So this is what's missing in AI. I don't do a lot of app building per se. I did test the app building functionality. There are beautiful products. There's Lovable, and there's for vibe coding, and there's Cursor. All of these different products, they use a whole range of different AIs, but they charge you, and you write how you want something done. But now with AI and Claude Work or Codex with ChatGPT, it is so sophisticated now that if you've got an idea and you can learn to articulate, that's what's missing, the ability to learn to articulate your thoughts in a way that that gets you the results you want, you can build amazing things. So I've used from the Microsoft world. I used .NET Nuke, which is like a Microsoft version of WordPress. I've used WordPress, but now what I'm doing is I'm moving pretty much everything off WordPress because it costs a fortune, and it's not if you're going to get hacked, it's when, I guess. And I'm moving it all to Cloudflare or using Astro. And I have written things not having done a single bit of this coding before or knowing the technology, all with AI, the help of AI. So you can build a lot of things that end up costing you nothing to even host, which I think is fantastic. So I think that AI for everybody, when someone complains about AI taking away your thinking, that is only if you're going to let it. For me, it has amplified how I can work, because I have got 100 ideas and I could never really talk to anyone about them. But now with AI, I can just talk about the ideas, how should I best work, have them function, and I built a beautiful voice engine. This is a judgment engine. So literally, when I put something into AI, it's already been shaped as to how I think, and my values and my morals and my ethics and my beliefs. And it then will give me answers that are structured in a way that I feel I have more confidence in, because you cannot trust AI. It is not, it will make mistakes, and it will make mistakes in the most exquisite way that you just don't pick up. So there's a lot of things you can do with AI, and if you want to take the time to learn it, if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I mean, my whole channel is called My Relationship With, because I've got a lot of relationships with lots of different things, and I want to share them with you. If you have got anything out of this, let me know. You ask a question, I'm happy to answer. If you'd like something to be examined a little bit more and a deep dive, I'm happy to do that. But what I'd love to know is, what are you using? Because I listened to someone else and I got to learn about Obsidian, and after that, I just thought, wow, it's fantastic. We all learn by sharing information, and that's what I hope to do. My name's Nina. I am here to just share and journal a lot of my thoughts, and hope that I can teach some friends along the way. Bye for now.